Number 10, I'm on a roll. This is my Ezekiel testimony. Ezekiel is the third prophet in the Old Testament. So when I sat down to record this testimony, I was asking Holy Spirit what specifically in this testimony would be highlighted, what aspect of this testimony should come forward. The answer was the grace of God, God's grace. So about a year after coming to the Lord and about a year of doing my best to be a good Christian, I was riding on a train in the morning on my way to work in the village, and I was reading Ezekiel. And what the Lord used was a footnote on the page that I was reading. There was a footnote that said, Ezekiel felt unworthy in the light of God's holiness. And when I read that, something was triggered inside of my heart, and I became emotional and I started crying on the train. So at that time in my life, I was struggling with a lot of different personal issues. I was suffering from shame, guilt, condemnation. I was seeking attention. I was backslidden. I was partying. I I needed deliverance and I didn't even know it. I was suffering from an inferiority complex. I always felt lesser than. I was haunted by what I would find out later to be an orphan spirit that would take years to shake off, unfortunately. So after spending a few months with Holy Spirit prior to this train ride, um, Holy Spirit was ministering to me and letting me know, hey, it would probably be a good idea if you and your boyfriend got married. Well, unfortunately, the way that the church responded was hurtful. Um, when I told the church that I was going to at the time that, you know, my at that time boyfriend, my now husband, wanted to get married, uh, I was told that they would have to bring in another pastor to marry us because I had been married before. And, that really hurt me, but I was able to just, move past that and say, okay, I understand there's traditions and the elders have certain beliefs and whatnot, but I felt like I wasn't able to become a true recipient of God's grace. I felt like the baggage that I had was being held against me, basically. But again, okay, let's just move on with it, basically, is how I felt about it. So then, to add insult to injury, I was told in a meeting that we were having in preparation for our wedding, um, the arrangements were made for a pastor. My beloved Pastor Shaw was going to come and marry us, and but then I was told that it would probably be best if I didn't wear a white wedding dress. and and that hurt me. That hurt my feelings because I guess to me it was another way of saying um, you are tainted and always will be stained and tarnished. So, how was I able to move past this? Well, lucky for me, I spent some time in the Word and read the New Testament front to back, at least at that time. I found out that I was a new creation, that if I confess my sins to Jesus, he would be faithful to forgive me of my sins. In fact, my sins would be as far as from the east is from the west. And I found out that if I was adopted into the kingdom of light, that I was in fact worthy of the sprinkling of Jesus's blood. I could put on a robe of righteousness. I could have grace. I was entitled to grace, but I was also going to be required to extend grace. I was forgiven, but I had to forgive. I had to forgive everyone who hurt me. I had to release forgiveness, and then I felt better. So, on that train ride, that eventful morning, Holy Spirit was able to minister to me, and what was probably a 45-minute train ride was supernaturally 10 years of healing. Something melted inside of my heart. And that morning, God showed me how to stand in the light of God's holiness unashamedly. And I realized and understood that being a good Christian wasn't about what I had to do, it was about what had already been done.